pause file sync indefinitely. Yeah, baby. Ooh, you know it. What's up to all our sidekicks and henchfolk out there in the Geek Nation? You're currently tuning into the CultPop podcast live stream, aka spoiler alert, episode 762, wherein we will review a couple of these past week's comics, as well as talk about some fun pop culture topics for your listening and viewing and feet-rubbing pleasure. Probably, I'm going to assume Hawkeye, the TV show. I'm your host, Johnny Destructo, of Johnny Destructo's Hero Complex, located at 4327 Main Street in Philadelphia, PA, a super rad, dope-ass shop which caters to nerd and nerd-adjacent individuals of all shapes and sizes. Joining me tonight is Brian Lieb.
Hey.
And Noel.
Sup,
dude.
are you
Anyway,
are you happy? Man, I did a slow so you didn't keep going. Are you happy?
Was that a visual thing?
No,
Oh.
it was noises. It was noises.
This is group communication, JB. Get in the rhythm.
Yes. Yeah. I'll paint you a picture next time.
I
This
want
is the
to,
best segue
but
ever. What?
I'm afraid that the rhythm is going to get me.
The rhythm is going to get you.
Rhythm
Tonight?
is going to get you
Tonight.
tonight. Scoop doop doodle derps.
Oh,
Anyway,
no,
thank you to everyone joining.
God fucking damn it!
All right, you ready?
I just wanted to ask.
I am also going to say something while other people are saying something.
No, this is why we all record are isolated. It's been it's been 2 weeks in a row, or like 3 weeks in a row, that I didn't write fucking gibberish, and I wanted to know if you'd like to return to gibberish or.
I don't need the gibberish, but I like the questions.
I like the questions. Yeah.
Yeah, questions are nice.
All right.
Oh, I have a question, Brian.
Yeah.
Do you listen to scores of films? End of question.
I wouldn't say that I listen to scores of films.
No, I don't
have some.
Jesus Christ!
It's a relevant.
Do you listen
statement.
to film scores?
No. If you listen to the second half, you'll get it. I have a few
second half unnecessary
instrumentals.
First half should have been the answer.
I have a few instrumentals from film scores, but I have never set out to listen to a film score. You know what I mean? I have London Calling from Star Trek Into Darkness, which was an awesome version. The Superman theme, that's just in itself. It's amazing. And maybe one more or so. But
okay.
Yeah.
No, same question.
I do. I listen to scores of film scores. Just vast magnitude of film scores for various reasons. For I don't know if you guys noticed during the cocktail hour of my wedding reception, we exclusively played our favorite film scores. So while people were having drinks, it was everything from the Superman score to like Jurassic Park, some Star Wars, a little dash of John Carpenter, just all in there. Yeah, I listen to them often.
Yeah, same.
Do you also count instrumental TV show theme songs? Because I got a couple of those too.
I mean, it's typically like I listen to them to be engaging background music. So they have to be longer than 30 seconds a clip.
Oh, yeah.
For the most part. So it's not, I usually don't listen to television film scores because the cues are usually really short. So it's like, it's just a little taste and it's like not worth it.
I just put the Night Court theme music
That's one
on.
of the ones that I have. It's so good.
It's like jazz. It's Seinfeld jazz, essentially.
I listen to a lot of scores as well. On the way home from picking up my son in New Jersey, we listened to the Shang-Chi score.
Oh, indeed.
Which is lovely. All right, let's see. Notes. Here we go. Anyway, thank you to everyone listening to us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. If you like what we're doing, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Comics block, here we go. We're just getting right into it, son. Black Panther #1 from Marvel Comics, written by John Ridley, with art by Juan Cabal. Secrets from T'Challa's past have come back to haunt him. Fresh from returning from his travels in space, Black Panther receives an unexpected and urgent message from a Wakandan secret agent. Now, T'Challa must race the clock, not only to save his agent, but also to keep his true agenda under wraps. Because if the truth comes out, it could cost T'Challa everything.
Oh.
Okay, so a little bit of background because you asked. I was really excited when Ta-Nehisi Coates was taking over Black Panther many years ago. And he is a writer of some renown. I enjoy his the one novel of his that I've read, Between the World and Me, I think it's called. And I was really excited about it. I was like, ooh, here we go. This is my jumping on point for the Black Panther. And I found it to be exceedingly dry. A little sleepy. It took a little while to get where it was going, and I didn't particularly care. I didn't stick with it very long. I gave up. But I do like John Ridley's comic book work. Really, one of my favorite series from the last year, 2 years, is the Other History of DC Universe. Thank you. By John Ridley. And boy, that is a great series, and I was really excited for this. And I was not disappointed. This first issue I thought was engaging. The art was really nice. I really liked there was John Ridley is not afraid to show T'Challa in a light that I haven't seen him in before. He's kind of a dickhead. Noel and I were talking about how the conversation with Cap and him was this really strange kind of antagonistic conversation. And T'Challa, being a monarch, I believe at the end of the last series, at some point, they decided to try democracy as opposed to a monarchy. Yeah. And he's not into it. He's like, these people need a leader. They need a monarch. They need a king. They need to be told what to do. People should not be left to their own devices. So I thought that was kind of interesting. You know, as a guy who is a king, has been a king for a very long time, it makes sense that he would be like, it was better when I was running shit.
And there is some merit to that political philosophy. Like, a benevolent and exceedingly qualified king would have many things over a democratically mob-chosen elected official. But it stipulates that person is both benevolent and exceedingly qualified, which in the real world is difficult to guarantee. But T'Challa is those things. You know what I mean? Yeah. And we know this because we are told this, and it's a fictional universe that we have that kind of window into. So you can see where he's coming from, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just thought it was a really, really strong start. I'm actively interested in reading this Black Panther series. But since you're here, Brian.
Yeah.
What'd you think of it?
I enjoyed it also. Yeah, it was interesting. That point that you mentioned was the thing that stood out a great deal to me. I think I felt a little bit like I didn't know what was going on when they abruptly switched to those two agents, and that may be because I'm not aware of what T'Challa is up to these days, like the ins and outs of it. So it's a fine line, right? Should they have introduced that a little bit more or not? When those two agents, right?
Yeah.
Right. Should they have introduced that a little bit more or not? Or was it all right being told when we were?
I thought the same thing. I thought, this must be something that was set up in the previous issue or the previous series. I don't think it was.
By the end of it, I don't think so. It's tough to fault, right? Because if you are a regular reader and there is a certain amount of comics that is just for the regular reader, then, you know, should they set everything like that up? And they did tell you what was going on. it was really just me second guessing the story that was being told because I didn't know what was happening when I shouldn't have known.
I didn't finish the Ta-Nehisi Coates run. I read the first fourth of it, and I have the rest of it like waiting to finish. I just presume because it had to do with like the intergalactic empire being started and stuff. Also, I just presumed that one of the status quo changes was that now Wakanda is a monarchy with a parliament as a like the UK as opposed to just a monarchy. So I just blew past it.
That threw me. It was those two agents.
Yeah.
Like who are they?
I didn't, for some reason, when I was reading, like I said, I didn't finish the last one, but for some reason, when I was reading this, I didn't assume that I was supposed to know. It felt like a spy movie, cold throw-in.
Yeah.
I didn't presume. If they didn't tell me who they were, like within 3 or 4 pages, then I would have been like, who the fuck are these people?
Right.
But they got into it pretty quickly.
I think for me, it was the fact that they were talking about like they were having an affair, but actually they were talking about betraying T'Challa. He told them not to get together. Yeah. I think that's what threw me. I was like, this seems to have nothing to do with what's going on. And they're talking about like they have this pre-existing kind of relationship. But, you know, we find out by the end.
Yeah, I was I had the same questions. I had the same questions. But then by the end of the issue, all my questions were answered. And I was like, oh, okay. That was on purpose. Yeah. Say again? The art. You said the art was good?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I thought it was, it's kinetic. I like the way the figures are drawn. You know, it's not doing anything crazy with the panels except for the last page, which is pretty cool. The way that the wording, I think, "Am I ready?" is in
the old
what
school,
I'm assuming is like a preview of.
It's the old school Jeff Johns preview. Yeah. Like this year in Black Panther. Juan Cabal, the artist, he the only other place that I kind of known them from is some fill-ins for Venom, but they did the most recent run of Guardians by Al Ewing, which was pretty darn good. But I also was excited for this book, but not necessarily. JD, you mentioned our enjoyment of the Secret History or the
Other History of DC Universe.
The Other History of DC Universe. I did not take that as a indication that this would be a good comic, though, because the format of that book is prose. So I like it. The format was just completely different. So like there was still a little bit of fear that like novelist. However, he did do.
I mean, I'm also enjoying his Batman stuff.
He did do a lot of the next Batman stuff that was like the first series was great. I have not liked Second Son, and I have not liked, and that's mainly because of art. But all those digital firsts that he was working on with the character, I've not enjoyed at all. So this was like a mixed bag. Like it could have gone either way. Like it could be as amazing as this, or just as like fine as the next Sun miniseries, or like the next Batman miniseries. And I'm so glad that it fell a little bit further on the left. Like I enjoyed this a lot. This was really, really cool.
This artwork reminds me a little bit of Russell Dauterman.
Yeah. Very much.
Yeah, it's really, really cool.
This was really strong. It's really strong first issue.
Yeah, I'm excited.
This panel layout is cool here. I didn't notice this while I was reading, but the panel's kind of like a falling building almost, jumbled a little bit.
Yep.
I like T'Challa being in this the moral ambiguity, the space of moral ambiguity that a earnest leader should be in. The needs of the many, the needs of the few. And he's not precious about it. Like he would sacrifice a person to save 5 people kind of thing. And it's just, it's usually not directly addressed in comics. It's just kind of like around the outskirts or like the hard decision, but really it's just like T'Challa would be the one in the room and be like, no, that's what we do. Done. Like it's cool. It's a really, really cool place to be.
You had something to say about Steve and T'Challa's back and forth, yeah?
Yeah. It was an interesting exchange because both of them were coming off as passive-aggressive assholes, but passive-aggressive assholes that have purpose and reason to be assholes. And it's just I don't know if you could pull that off with any other two characters in the Marvel universe, because both of them are essentially the epitome of authority within the fictional universe. So only them two would kind of be able to pull that conversation off without either of them being in the wrong or being in the right, because they're each one's individual priorities, one being the Avengers, one being the nation of Wakanda, sub the Avengers, are the most important thing to them, and they just kind of clashed a little. But it was so well done because it wasn't, neither of them were wrong, neither of them were right, neither of them were the antagonists of the conversation, but both of them sucked a little. And I was like, this is really well balanced. Yeah. Absolutely.
I didn't read it as like passive aggressive asshole at all. I just thought they were having a conversation about what is
Steve.
Right
I read it as, there's some pieces in there where I read Steve as being a little mansplaining, a little dude-splaining, and then T'Challa being offhanded, kind of, I'll give you that, but I know already, you kid. Like, there was a lot of back and forth. It was really nice, especially the hologram afterwards. Like, the last conversation of them was Steve attempting to dress him down because he was let down, and T'Challa being like, I didn't lie to you. I told you what my priorities were. Things change. Like, it was very curt, and it was nice.
Cap is like, you are back, aren't you? I mean, no more running around in outer space. And then T'Challa is like, I may be around a little bit too much. And Cap goes, can I have your word on that? Steven, are you questioning me? I'm asking you. We all have other responsibilities, but a leader needs to lead. That's hard to do when you've got one eye on the problem and the other in the middle of the universe. I will continue my services as the chairperson with an ever-increasing attention to the Avengers. You have my word. So,
there's
it's a little bit of...
I don't see it like that. I mean, there are two people with different points of view. Like, you can heavily emphasize it like that and make it sound that way, but I think the only part of that is where he says, can I have your word on that? But even that is, these are two stoic men who trust each other, and that's just like, that's how they talk, and he wants to...
Even if it's read sternly and without emotion, the can I have your word on that is inherently doubting the previous statement that was just made. You're asking for validation on the...
Are you questioning me?
It's not malicious. It's two
he says, I'm asking you, people. We all have other responsibilities. Like, I want to make sure... like, you can read it the way you guys were reading it, but I'm gonna keep reading it this way.
Sure.
Cool. I think it's more in keeping with their characters and their relationship to each other.
Wait, I contest. This is keeping with their characters, though. Their utmost authority on what they consider the most important thing at the moment, and them coming to terms or coming to heads about it. One
I just don't read the antagonism. That's where
But it's the kind of antagonism that those that have known each other for decades can have with each other.
All right.
Not, you didn't do your work, baby. Like, I feel like these two generals are disagreeing on tactics, not capabilities.
Yeah.
And I liked that.
I mean, I agree on that.
That is friction. I like that friction.
They have a difference of opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. No one thinks they're about to come to blows.
But this is character
I didn't say
friction.
That either.
This is character friction. With a different writer, it would have come off as not true to the characters. That was my
what
point.
It feels like? It feels a lot like what's happening twixt the three of us now.
I think you're both wrong and fucking stupid. So I'm going to write a letter to John Ridley. He's going to respond, and he's going to be like, Noel, you were absolutely correct in your assessment as to what I intended the reading of this to be like. And I'm going to frame it. I'm going to frame it and show both of you over a live stream.
You're going to frame it for murder? Hulk #1 from Marvel Comics, written by Donny Cates with art by Ryan Otley. Immortal no longer. A brand new creative team delivers a new, colossal-sized era. The uncontrollable rage of the Hulk has reached an all-new level, and nobody, including the Avengers, is prepared to handle it. But is it really the Hulk stuff, or is there some missing to this puzzle? probably something missing to this puzzle. I heard so many good things about Immortal Hulk, and I dipped in. I read the first chunk of books, and then because my life is a shambles always, I fell off, even though everyone was telling me how great it was, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to catch up. And then I didn't. But I do love Donny Cates, and I love Ryan Otley. So I was actually disappointed that Ryan Otley didn't draw more of the Amazing Spider-Man run that he was attached to. And hopefully he'll stick around longer for this Donny Cates Hulk. And this is a brand new jumping on point. The Immortal Hulk series is over, although apparently the Hulk is still immortal. And Bruce has come to the realization that he's not immortal, but the Hulk is. And it's a whole new thing. It's pulling a little bit from Peter David's run, where we've got the big psychological door, right? And, we kind of put the Hulk behind the door and he tries to get out. But there's some other strange elements going on here that I wasn't anticipating. I'm going to start with the Hulk should never be in armor. And it looks dumb as hell every time they do it. I'm trying to remember. I think they did it for All New Marvel or All Different Marvel. And he had...
Yeah. I think that was... was that Bruce Banner, though, or was that Amadeus Cho?
It was Bruce, but it was like Dr. Banner.
Oh, all right.
Something. Yeah, it was a...
But, he would turn into the Hulk, and then the Hulk would have, chunks of armor on him that just look dumb. This also looks very dumb. This Hulk outfit is dumb as hell.
I think it looks wonderful.
Okay. It's in keeping with Donny Cates' over the top sort of silliness that I appreciate usually. And maybe I'll grow to appreciate it more. This armor. But right now I'm like, oh, that looks like something out of Invincible.
Yeah.
Which is a great series, but a different series. And I do like, hold on, I'm gonna bring it up. I like the name of this issue, Smashtronaut.
Mm-hmm.
That's very in keeping with, I think, the sort of the stuff that Donny Cates does. But basically, what it posits is, what if the Hulk this entire time has been protecting us from Bruce Banner? And so Bruce Banner's in control. He has segmented the Hulk and him into 3 separate personalities that I guess he has. I'm not quite sure how it works, but he has created sort of a psychological mansion.
Just think Mind Palace, like Stephen King style.
Mind Palace, yeah.
No, Sherlock Holmes style.
Oh yeah, that works too. Yeah.
But
nobody knows what's going on. You're in good company, JD.
Oh, okay. Good.
Oh well, a couple things. Go ahead and finish. I'll loop in.
Oh, well, I'm just going to finish with I'm enjoying it. I think this is fun, and I'm curious to see where it's going. But it is like with Venom, it's taking some adjusting on my part.
And
the Donny Cates Venom
for
right?
You. I think it was me for 6 months being like, come on guys. So backpedaling to Ryan Otley on Amazing Spider-Man, that's actually been addressed. That book went double shipping plus, and he couldn't keep up, so he tapped out. He literally has said this book is monthly. He intends to be the main artist for the entirety of the run, if not 90% of it.
Wonderful.
So they are very cognizant of the fact that this is it. The idea of a lot of the seeds of some of the seeds of this are in the Immortal Hulk run. I've read about 30 issues of it. The way that they approach Banner and his personalities is that it's like a system. It's like a timeshare system. And when you're not on stage, you're backstage. So it seems as though just the extrapolation of that is that Banner has kind of identified ways to weaponize different stages or personas for his ends. So the idea of being like, well, the Hulk is the ultimate spacesuit. Fuck it. I'm gonna use him like I'm gonna use him like a vessel and his anger like an engine, and I'm gonna go explore. I think that's rad as fuck. I think that's really, really cool. I don't think it's obviously not gonna work. It's gonna be nasty.
Doomed to fail.
This is not unlike the much less entertaining Jason Aaron quick run, where in order to tell their story, they made Banner the villain and Hulk a victim of Banner's machinations. It didn't really work long term. Like it was a stretch to keep making him a matter villain, which was really weird and uncomfortable. So I hope that there's more to this than that. But yeah, and I like the armor. I think it's fucking stupid. I like it.
This was cool.
It serves a purpose in the story for me. The idea of him wanting, like, if a scientist wants to turn something organic into something functional, like a vessel, it would require accoutrement, right? I like, it's not just a super suit. It was literally a I think the helm. It was in the Free Comic Book Day issue. The helm is a navigation system from AIM, and then like the nodes are specifically like a power source thing. Like, yeah, I'm okay with it for now.
Yeah, that was
this is all conditional, right?
Was the way that Banner was doing what he's doing. I don't think it looks very good.
No.
So this book did not grab me, and I was really looking forward to it. Like, I've been looking forward to this for a while, and I thought it was coming out earlier, and I'm like, all right, yeah, the Hulk. And I don't know. Banner's taken over. It just feels like not anything that I haven't seen before and wasn't into the previous times that I saw it. You know, it's like, well, Banner's the bad guy. Or is he? Hopefully not. Otherwise, I don't know. It's just, I was looking more for like a return to Hulk. And
this is not that.
Not really.
What is return to
I don't know.
Hulk?
Donny Cates has done some cool stuff. Thor was cool. We'll see. This is for both of you guys. What is a return to Hulk? Because personally, I've read, I think 3 or 4 different modern runs, and I don't know what status quo is for the Hulk for the most part. There's
like I've seen them
range of things, right? Like there's not a status quo, but just sort of, and this is not intrinsically out of it. Just when I was reading it, I was kind of like, this is the direction they're going. You know, and the art is great. I mean, the art is phenomenal.
Right now.
But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'd like to try it for a few more issues because I like it when I'm reading the Hulk. You know, I like the Hulk.
Trust Donny Cates as far as you could throw him when it comes to hyperbole or selling his own books, but he has mentioned a couple of times in a lot of these lead-ins that he's trying something new with the Hulk, and it's all gonna it's gonna be weird at first, and please just stick with me for a couple of issues and you'll see what I'm really doing. Like, it's all of these. So I feel like he's a creator at this point in his career where he's got enough juice or enough clout to spread shit out instead of like hit with a hook immediately. Yeah. So I would definitely give this at least, I'm hoping to give it an arc to kind of see what it feels like, because I didn't like Venom at first.
Yeah.
I pulled the first 3 issues and they just kind of sat by the wayside. And it wasn't until like 4 or 5 that I started reading them and was like, holy shit, I care about Venom. And I
feel like for me, it will turn on
now
whether Banner is actually the bad force all along that the Hulk has been protecting us from.
That's weird.
You know what I mean?
Not a giant fan
right?
of that.
Yeah. Like, if that's the case, I'm probably not in. But if there's more to it than that, then I could be.
There's also like the teases of Cates is writing both Thor and Hulk, and both of them have 60th anniversaries in 2022. Oh. So the books are gonna touch each other. They're gonna fight comic style. Naked.
Yeah.
Did you guys read Hulk? Did you guys read Thor this week? No? It was good.
Nope.
Was there naked fighting?
I'm behind.
It was lots and lots of hammers. Ooh. Killing people. Lots of death hammers.
Oh.
Yeah. was good. Yeah, this book is fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely gonna stick with it for sure. All right, Joy Operations #1, Dark Horse Comics, writer Brian Michael Bendis, art Stephen Byrne. 55 years from now, Joy is an envoy, a special agent of one of the Jonando Trust. Trusts are corporate-owned cities that are the centerpiece of modern society. She rights wrongs for the trust. She is excellent, perfection, hard on herself, driven, almost legendary in some parts. Until one day a voice pops in her head trying to get her to betray everything she has ever believed. Boy, oh boy, I could have used this description before reading the comic book.
I'm glad I didn't.
Turns out, I didn't realize, I thought I had finished this issue. Turns out I was like 3 pages from finishing it. But I like what I've read so far. And I really like Stephen Byrne. I've been following him on social mediums for quite a while now. And it's good to see him doing like a big profile book. It's really nice artwork. His eyes have a lot in common with Jim Chung's eyes. But it's very Bendis-y. It's mostly talk, but I enjoy that. I'm a Bendis fan. I like it when characters are, gabbing away. So that doesn't bother me. I'm not completely hooked.
As much of a
I'm not completely hooked, but maybe those last 3 pages will completely hook me if I.
Oh my god! Wait until you read.
Well, there is a stinger in the last page that I was like, applying a specific conflict immediately and not dragging it out. I thought it was pretty cool. I'll just straight up spoil it. She takes herself to the police.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they immediately just so if this character would have completely fallen for and or believed the voice in her head, the new voice in her head immediately, I'd be like, yeah, bullshit. She's supposed to be, the greatest of great security agents, period. No, she just takes herself in. She turns herself in. Like, I can't trust myself. Arrest me.
Interesting. Yeah.
I think that's a solid hook.
You said it was Bendis-y, I believe, JD, or something of that nature. I found myself pleasantly surprised throughout reading it that he didn't. There was a lot of talking, like you said, but he didn't. I don't know, have the rhythm that he normally does. There was like one part towards the end, I forget what it was, but that it sounded like his kind of. I don't know. It's almost Aaron Sorkin-esque.
The complaint that I've seen people make is, I think it was like especially egregious, like say in Ultimate Spider-Man, where there were some like arguments or long-standing conversations in that book where literally everyone sounded like a sarcastic Jewish grandmother.
Yeah. Oi,
like,
they.
Yeah. Oi. Like
Vault.
Everyone started sounding. Every character started sounding the same, and they all started sounding like Brian Michael Bendis as opposed to
I didn't notice that. I guess it just kind of bleeds into the background for me,
Oh fuck!
The thing that bothers me sometimes when he gets really into the weeds of writing realistic dialogue, which is when people will interrupt each other 19 times, and like within 3 or 4 word balloons, nothing is said. It'll be like I ... You know what I ... Hey there. What the heck? And they're like interrupting each other and nothing actually gets said, or they like repeat themselves.
Worse is that is when he does the pitter patter stuff, the realistic pitter patter of I went to the shop. You went to the shop. I went to the shop. Where did you go to the shop? Why did I go to the shop? Why are you asking me why did I go to the shop? I went to the shop because I wanted to get the thing. What thing? The thing that I said I was going to get at the shop. I went to the shop. You went to the shop. Like he does that.
That's it.
People have those conversations, but he'll write that, and it's like, I get it. Stop it.
It was charming at first.
Yeah, exactly.
Now it's like, all right, pump the brakes.
It was refreshingly interesting at first.
All of this is to say, this isn't in this book.
Enjoyed it.
No, not so much. Just a little. Yeah, it didn't have that kind of cutesy kind of talk between the characters.
2 cute by half, guys. 2 cute by half. That's the phrase. That's the official CultPop phrase we use when things are too cutesy. It's 2 cute by half.
That and
that being
peek
said,
behind the sausage.
Sausage curtain.
Yeah.
It's
I always
dangly
pictured it more of a
sausages,
one-hand
and you're just
gesture.
like, no, it's hi.
Yeah.
And they're wet. I don't know. They're just slimy sausages.
Go on, Brian.
Anyway,
The book itself, that notwithstanding, I still didn't really get into it. You know, I was like, I don't know, kind of seems like a late 90s sci-fi story, which I can get into if told correctly, don't get me wrong. But yeah, I don't know. I was just kind of, I wasn't hooked in by anything. I wasn't that drawn into the story. Like nothing that engaging happened. The character is just kind of a blank slate character. Yeah.
What does she do?
What does she do?
What
She's
is the
an
character's
envoy.
job?
she's an
I think
envoy.
she's the top security person for the, I forget what they call them.
The Genando Trust. So trusts are
Yeah.
corporately owned cities, conglomerates. Let's say Google is a city now.
Right.
Facebook is a city. Apple is a city, and people live in these cities that are sponsored by these conglomerates. The head of security in each of these trusts is an envoy. That is the main person. Her envoy or her trust, she's out patrolling one night and she starts to get a voice in her head, but it's not just a voice in her head. The voice experiences what she feels, and it's a little bit more connected.
Yeah.
And the voice essentially is trying to convince her that the person you're protecting is actually encroaching on this delicate balance of trusts and how they relate to each other. She's amassing power. Her technology is faulty. She's hurting people. She will bring down this way of life and all of the other trusts and how the communities jive. So you just have to trust me and kill her. So it's classic storytelling, right? You take somebody that's ingrained in some sort of belief structure and you damage it. The only real hook here is that it's happening inside of her head. And we have to just trust that person is saying it. Stephen Byrne is awesome. Sounds cool. The art looks great. I've loved Stephen Byrne. I don't follow him on social media, but I absolutely adored every single goddamn pencil scratch and panel of the Wonder Twins that he did.
Oh,
with
that
Peter
was him.
Russell.
Nice.
His pacing and page layout is perfect for comedy. And him doing like an action book is just so fun to me. And I love the look of the characters too. And the design of the world. Like this character, she's not 25. She's wonderful. What is she, like maybe late 40s?
Yeah, maybe early 50s. That's one of the things that I sort of like, oh, that's kind of cool. She's a woman who has been through some shit and she has been here for a while and she looks it. And I love that.
I mean, she's the envoy. You don't get to that position overnight.
And I believe deep down inside of me that if there was 5 pages of just informational background on how this society works before starting this story, Brian might be more of a fan. Bendis has a really bad habit or a good habit, depending on the kind of like David Mamet school of screenwriting where you start scenes midway through and you end them before they overstay their welcome. So he is very much a crash into a scene thing and figure it out later. But establishing a completely new status quo and a new world and new rules, I don't know if that's as successful that way. Like maybe you need a little voiceover. Maybe you need a fucking grid, like a Hickman style interstitial on just what the fuck trusts are. What like all of the trusts where they stand with each other, a map, something. Yeah.
What are verses? Yeah, man.
You know what this reads like? This reads like Joss Whedon's Frey. Like that first future Buffy story when everyone was using a completely different, unrelatable slang language, and you're like,
yeah,
okay. That's one of the things that makes it seem, I don't know, like of an earlier time, is trusts and verses are mentioned. And it's not like that kind of thing wouldn't be done in modern science fiction or older than the 90s science fiction. It just, these particular future words sound older. It wasn't until the end that I figured out what a verses is. Did you guys catch it?
Yeah, her recordings, her
it's
diaries.
It's like a phone, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that hologram is their verses, I believe.
Like the technology of her suit?
I think it's more like a body cam.
Oh, okay.
Like body cam / diary / communications.
Yeah. So what happens here is that she decides to turn herself in, but the person who has hitched a ride inside her body, we discover at the very, very end, is able to control it now.
Yeah.
And he's like, don't worry about it. We'll solve. We're going to save the world together. And she's like, fucking don't. Dad, I don't want to do this. And he's like, nah, it's cool. We're going to save the world together. I have control of your body now. So now that I've read that, I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I think this is a solid 0 issue. Like a really good opening salvo. I'll be interested. And also too, I love that this is just a 5-issue mini.
Like, is it?
Yeah, just a 5-issue mini.
Nice.
They're doing he called it the Hellboy model, but hopefully with better numbering. Mini series.
I'm sorry. Did he say hopefully with better numbering?
I don't.
Or is that your add-on?
That was me. Like the Hellboy model of instead of an ongoing seasonal mini series.
Yeah.
So this is a one story arc. Whatever these characters are, maybe they'll be picked up again a year or two from now, and a story arc, which I kind of dig. I love. It's hard these days. There's so many comics. It's hard these days to sight unseen commit to an ongoing. Yep. This is cool.
Yeah, I'm into miniseries right now. Like DC's been killing it with the miniseries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what, guys? If you're out there listening and watching and experiencing, just drinking us in, and you're enjoying the flavor, in addition to liking and subscribing on YouTube, you could go to patreon.com/JohnnyDestructo and help us out. You can give us money. We will take that and we will use it for terrible means. Just the worst things you can think of. Just give us your money and we'll abuse it. But if you don't have any money to give us to abuse, you can just come hang out with us. You can just get down there in the comments and write us sassy little notes. You know, I like a sassy note. Brian, do you like a sassy note?
I've liked a sassy note or two in my time.
I like a sassy note, right? Yeah. I like a wine that has some sassy notes of oak. You know,
like if somebody's whining to you, but like sassily.
Yeah,
but it's a tree ant that's doing it.
Yeah, like Groot.
Okay.
Yeah. He's only saying I am Groot, but I know.
Well, you remember
he's slapping Maximus. A lot of sass on those I am groups.
Sap.
I always thought it was cool. The Inhumans, the Mad King, right? Like what's his name? Black Bolt's brother.
Black Bolt.
He can hear Groot. He's like, whenever he says I am Groot, it's actually like all of the kind of undertones through the wood and the whistling and whatever that is really telling you what he's saying. So
cute.
Yeah, that's how I'm picturing this whining, sassy situation.
Every time I think of Black Bolt, I always think of Jamie McKelvey. We're like friends on social media, and he just likes to point out that his name is Blackagar Boltagon.
Yeah.
Which is just constantly funny to me. You can also go to JohnnyDestructo.com where you can buy my original t-shirts and stickers and art prints.
These are t-shirts that you've drawn and printed, right, JD? Not just t-shirts that you've owned and worn?
That's true. Yes. Yeah. I design and print my own shirts. Yeah.
Also email us at cultpopgo@gmail.com and we'll address your letters on the show. Questions, comment, concerns, topics of interest, comics you're reading, shit you want us to read, email us. And then just real quick, Bury Me Alive on Steam. Do you have a link?
Yeah, thank you. There's also a Burn Me Alive 2 on Kickstarter. I wonder.
We'll find a link. We'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that next time.
All right. So we're gonna do a thunder round.
Thunder round.
Or two. I believe Brian's up first.
All right. You believe it?
Noel, do you have the timer?
I could have a timer.
Because my watch is out of juice.
Which I will be rounding.
Oh, my watch is dead too. Hang on. Let me get my phone.
I could just time myself.
No, you can't be trusted.
No.
I would yell out end of round and then keep talking, just like if you yell out end of round.
Ooh, he got you, boy. All right, I have it. Here we go.
I got it.
Oh, Jesus, fuck. What's a thunder round? I'll tell you.
Thank you.
Thunder round is a 60-second review of a comic book. Brian's going to start us off with Girl Scouts Stone Ghost #1. Is that correct?
That is correct.
From Image Comics, written and arted by Jim Mahfood. Superstar artist and comics-making weirdo Jim Mahfood returns to his creator-owned Girl Scouts universe for a brand new 6-issue miniseries. Join Dio, Turtleneck Jones, and Gordy as they face off against the sinister and unpredictable evil of the Teeth. Hilarious, over-the-top psychedelic adventure will ensue, you guys. Ooh. All right, Brian, are you ready?
I'm ready.
And
Noel, if you please.
Go.
I liked it. The art has this kind of 70s underground comics kind of vibe. Not that I'm that familiar with that art style, but I like the mostly black and white with a few colors kind of thing. There's even a little of just in one of the guys, kind of Samurai Jack. That's very cool too. The dark background and the two colors. The only place that it stops, they go to this like legal pad kind of paper to tell the backstory. It's very dense, and it kind of holds me up from this other feel of the rest of this careening comic. It was very cool. The characters are engaging. There's this twist that happens at the end. I don't know what's happening. And there's just a cool look to the alien stuff and the alien design, both technology and species. And the main character is fun. I want to read more.
Boy,
I wish I had an air horn.
In fact, do you guys know, is this a miniseries or an ongoing?
Mini.
I don't know. Oh, mini. 6 issues, right?
Can you set me aside 6 of those? One of each, please, JD.
Yeah, brah.
Thank you.
Brah. Brah.
Brian already went. Shut up. Noel is up next with I forgot what he's doing.
Radiant Black.
Radiant Black #10. Written by Kyle Higgins with art by Marcelo Costa. Solicitations are as follows. Welcome to existence, an unimaginable infinity beyond space and time. Marshall is trapped here, but how and why? Can he make it out? And what is the catalyst?
All right, you ready?
Bro. Let's do this. Let's do it.
60 seconds on the clock and go.
All right, look. I am known for a lot of things, but one of those things that I'm not known for is extreme hyperbole. So when I say this is the best superhero comic book on the stands, know that I'm saying that from a trusted source of information. This is literally the best superhero comic on the stands across all publishers. Radiant Black just gets better and better every single issue. It is Spiderman / Invincible / Power Rangers / Tarantino and Clerks / it's in the wheelhouse of so many wonderful things. The Venn diagram that this fits inside of is very surprising, very well done. They play with the format, they invest in characters, and the universe that they're building is just so exciting. Every single issue.
End of round.
I like the confident, relaxed pace. So unusual in a Thunder round. You were so certain of.
We're gonna have to make them 30 seconds.
It all came from here because I wasn't trying to. I explicitly don't want to talk about plot of this book unless you're up to date, because issue 4 something crazy happens, issue 7 something crazy as fuck happens, issue 10 it becomes a weird trippy black light life death thing. Like the book just keeps upping the ante in so many fun ways. It's got the excitement level of Invincible, where there are times when you were reading Invincible and you're like, they can't get away. No, they did that. Characters die, characters get old, things happen, status quos change. Like there's a sense of familiarity because it is superhero comics and it's got so many references, but there's also a sense of danger because you have no idea what is actually going to happen next. It's really cool.
Yeah. I
Wonderful
second Noel's entire Thunder Round. I tried so hard to read all 10 issues this week, and I got through 9 of them. And I was all set this morning. I was like, I'm going to read number 10, but then my day a bunch of stuff happened and I wasn't able to get to it. But boy, if this isn't one of the most entertaining good time reads that I've had in a long time. I'm very excited about this book. I really am highly into it. I cannot wait to read number 10. Highly recommend it. The trade paperback is out now. Hit me up. I have a comic shop. I'll mail you a copy. And this mother, he got the first issue CG Seed at a 9.8, which is very nice.
Signed by.
Snap! That's awesome.
And also too, it's one of those Image first trade paperbacks. First 6 issues, $9.99. There's literally no reason for people to just pick up the first trade paperback.
Yep. Mars Comics is in the comments saying, "Wow, that sounds great. I have not read this book. Just may have to find those back issues."
Get it.
Hey, you know what? Speaking of back issues, I like Spiderman.
Yeah.
And I am currently trying to collect all of the Spider-Man Epic collections. I've got numbers 2, 6, 7, 21, and 26. But if anyone is out in the wild and they see 1, 3, 4, 8, 15, 17, 18, 19, 20, or 22, let me know and I will pay you for it.
Hey, can you actually, like, no joke, can you actually write those numbers down, like either in the chat or something, so I can keep an eye out? Yeah,
you got it.
I'm not going to remember 1, 3, 4, 8, and then the rest of the numbers just trailed off.
Yeah.
I've been drinking.
Oh, me too. I am drinking White Rascal Belgian style white ale.
My first is Victory Merry Monkey, which is a 10% Belgian style ale. It is almost gone. And then I'm going to keep drinking.
I'm typing.
Oh, yeah. Get those in there. Epic collections are just as wonky as, not wonky, desirable by some facets of the collector community as omnibuses and oversized hardcovers are. Like, people jump on Epic collections also too because they are often not reprinted. So
here's the thing that is shocking to me. The thing that excited me about the Epic collections were the fact that they were so beautiful. You get a big chunk of story, you get like a big run of whatever your favorite comic is, and they go in chronological order. They're not released in chronological order, but they eventually, once they're all released, they're in chronological order. And it just annoys me so much that they don't keep them in print. It's super frustrating. So that's why I'm trying to scrounge and grab them before they go out of print. And I only have a handful of them, but I'm such a big Spidey fan that I would love to.
How many are there? Do you know? This is Amazing Spider-Man? Not.
There's 15 of them so far. But it's not 1 through 15, which is frustrating.
But they're called Amazing Spider-Man.
Amazing Spider-Man Epic Collections, yeah. All right. Actually, you can take 18 off of that one, Venom, because I ordered it from Barnes & Noble today. Sweet. I found the copy. Anyway, thanks, guys. Let's talk about another comic book that came out this week. It's going to be DC versus Vampires #2 from DC Comics. Duh. Written by James Tynion IV and Matt Rosenberg with art by Otto Schmidt. The war for the very survival of the human race has begun. A mysterious new vampire lord has already put a plan in motion to conquer the Earth. And the first step is destroy the Justice League. But the world's greatest detective might be last Earth. Nope. But the world's greatest detective might be Earth's last hope. And it's time for the Bat Family to hunt. I did not get a chance to read this issue. I really, really liked DC versus Vampires #1. I was excited to read this one. And yet again, my day fell apart. So, Brian.
Yeah.
Stifle that yawn and tell me what you thought.
I put it back in. I liked it. I liked DC versus Vampires #2. Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun book. I like when Green Arrow shoots one of the vampires through the heart, and he, disappears just as he's being leapt upon. Whatever. The vampire's leaping at him, and he should perfect. What would DC heroes do if they had to fight vampires? Kind of stuff, And it's cool. You've got the Bat Family are kind of taking point on this, trying to figure out
Thank
what
God,
is going
too,
on.
There's one thing we don't get enough of. It's Batman related
Bat
stuff.
Family. Yes. They do.
God damn it.
I'm with you on that, but they do seem to fit in this story, right? Like he gathers the people that he can trust. I was a little disappointed. How do you feel about saying who gets killed?
I figured you'd have feelings about this.
Yeah, I'm mostly just disappointed because I'm like, oh, we don't get to see him as a vampire? That kind of sucks. Or just in the story at all. Well, you never know.
Let's spoil
he
it.
could show
Let's
up.
spoil it.
I'm sorry, I'm distracted by Batgirl here. Goodness,
I know,
Otto
right?
Schmidt.
Otto Schmidt, yeah. Hal Jordan is the sleeper agent vampire on the Justice League, and he is making himself known selectively and murdering when necessary. And it makes perfect sense too, because he is able to, with the power of his ring, actually like adjust UV. So
yeah, I think it's a real good reason.
Yeah, it was solid.
Yeah.
So he would not be suspected by normal means. And then they kind of hint at there's sleeper agents in almost all the teams. And I love that Batman actually kind of like tested his whole family. he slipped them stuff. But anyway, Hal has a heart-to-heart with Barry and kills him. He kills the Flash, and it's because the Vampire Nation realized that even if they turned him, because of his metabolism, he would literally need to eat the planet in order to be useful, and he could stop them, so he took him out.
No. Sorry. What?
I mean,
the dude vibrates through shit. How did he snap his neck?
Well, he had encased him in a green energy bubble, which
he can't vibrate out of a green energy bubble.
What's that?
They talk through it, so I don't remember the exact details in dialogue, but he essentially comforts Barry into a chair that he makes, and they're both talking, and while they're talking, the chair just clutches him and keeps him, and then he tries to vibrate out of it, and he's able to like stop him. It was a whole like planned thing to the point where he just has him still and stuck in a bubble and adjusts the bubble to rip him apart. It's frictionless space that he
Barry
can't vibrate
not being
out
able
of.
to vibrate through that. It makes sense.
What's that, Brian? It doesn't.
I guess I can see Barry not being able to vibrate through an energy construct. Like that part makes sense. Although, as I may have mentioned on the show before, I have never been a fan of the idea that the Flash needs to eat a lot because of his super speed powers. To me, it doesn't make sense, right? Like, he is moving far in excess of whatever sort of energy he is getting from 800 hamburgers, that it's just like, that doesn't make sense as an explanation that, his metabolism is so fast because of the super speed, and so he needs to eat a lot.
I thought I never took it as a direct 1-for-1 fuel in, fuel out, so much as the excess that the Speed Force can't.
That may be. They used to pitch it as, like, in the early Wally West days of that being the case when I was first exposed to it. And I think that came from the TV show, or they were at least around the same time, the 90s show. It was like, I need to eat this much to maintain, like I use up so much energy moving around like that. Also, it limits his powers, so I'm never into that kind of thing. But yeah, just as an explanation, it just always fell a little flat with me. But mainly it's disappointing because we don't get to see the Flash do more stuff in this story.
This is trying to be, I mean this is a compliment. This series so far, it's trying to be Deceased. It's trying to be Injustice. It's trying to do a shocking, horror-tinged miniseries where all bets are off. So one of the features of these series is how and who they murder. Yeah. Shockingly. Same thing with, honestly, it's the same thing with Dark Knights of Steel. Like, I feel like that's got the same kind of flavor of all bets are off. We're going to do shocking things. So I almost expect every single issue to have kind of like a scene like this where they will take someone off the board or someone will get turned. So I almost don't, my brain doesn't, like, unless it's wildly egregious that, like, Batman would forget his keys and that's why he was murdered. Like, as long as it's not just so egregiously simple and stupid or out of character as that, I usually don't nitpick at or I'm not saying you are nitpicking, but in general, like, it didn't even register with me to think, well, he could vibrate out of this type of construct. Like, I was just like, oh, they're going to kill him. Okay. Like, I don't know.
This is brutal. Reading this page. Reading this page is brutal.
And that was it. Like, the scene itself was pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a great scene. And the fact that he would drink the planet.
Hal's emotion about it is cool too. That he wanted
bummed
to convert Barry. They just wouldn't let him.
Yeah.
And he's upset that he had to kill him.
Ugh.
Yeah, this is a fun series.
A cool series.
I don't think it's as good as Deceased yet. That book was just 100% right out the gate. Especially I read 1 and 2 this week. I didn't read the first one previously, and because I don't think I was on that show. I did not like the first issue much at all. The way that they handled exposition was just so clunky. It seemed rushed. The pace was just super off. But this issue really clicked and it was really fun. So I feel like they found their groove. Also, Otto Schmidt, I feel like the art wasn't as strong in the first issue as it is in this one. His style is very exaggerated and kinetic.
Yeah.
Which could sometimes come off as loose. But he seems so much more comfortable in this issue.
It's weird. I don't think that cover is by Otto Schmidt. That does not look like Otto Schmidt's cover work.
It's a cool cover, though. Also, Everyman is what an obscure villain from 52, I believe, is when he premiered.
Who's Everyman?
Exactly.
There are some,
when Luthor was giving everybody powers in 52. I believe he was one of them, one of the people that got powers or something like that.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to catch up with this. This is a lot of fun. I'm excited to read this.
Yeah, this is a fun series. I like.
Yeah.
I think this is and it's 12 issues.
Nice.
But speaking of like weird, low rent supervillains, I think I read the first couple issues of Iron Man by Chris Cantwell because I just completely skipped it.
Oh yeah.
The Unicorn. Are you guys familiar with the Unicorn?
No.
He's a supervillain from, like, I guess the 70s. There's a guy called the Unicorn. He's got a blast that comes out of his forehead.
That makes sense.
And a suit the unicorn on it. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that tracks. Yeah.
I'm like, I believe it.
That's what I call myself if I had a blast that came out of my head.
Unicorn. Obviously.
You know what I found? My assistant let me know that a unicorn is what they call the woman that a couple would like to sleep with.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was code for literally anything
that. To.
Yeah.
I thought I thought the unicorn or a unicorn is just relationship code in general of something that seems too good to be true, like the perfect version of what it is. So like a single man that has a great job and like the perfect parent or something is a unicorn when you're dating as a divorcee, or like every faction of or every demographic has their like unicorn. Yeah,
it's possible. Yeah. All right, let's move on to Kate Bishop, Hawkeye. Nope, Hawkeye, Kate Bishop, #1 from Marvel Comics, written by Marieke Niekamp. Marieke Niekamp, with art by Enid Balam. Kate's heading home, or at least back to New York. And as much as she wants to go back to where her friends, her chosen family, are, she's changed since she is last on the East Coast. So she's picked up a pit stop case first. A confidence booster to prove to herself she's making the right decision and not going to backslide into her past just by changing time zones. Besides, the case,
as we all have,
is perfect. Swanky resort, check. Jewel heist, check. Almost definitely 100% a trap. That's where it ends.
There's no check?
Right? I guess it's a secret.
How are we to know?
You'll have to read to find out. Hey, Brian, did you read to find out?
I did. I didn't know that I was reading to find out, but I found out while reading.
It was a trap.
And I think it's a trap, you guys. And I think it's
check.
Crime.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fun. It was a fun book.
Yeah.
I felt similar to Black Panther, but less egregiously. I felt like I didn't know what came right before this, but I expected to even less, and it's fine. Like this one introduced everything in a handy way, in a very capable way. I liked the texts back and forth with people. Trying to get her to come back to New York, or I thought that interchange between her and the various people that she's texting worked really well and was delivered well. It's something that I think we're still figuring out as a society, like how to put texts into some kind of medium, be it TV or comics or whatever. So I thought the art was cool. I thought the art really fit the story. The fight scenes are kinetic and the people are drawn well. And like I said, I was like, I bet that's the Circus of Crime. And so I just looked online to make sure that the Circus of Crime was a real thing that I was thinking of. And it is. They're in Marvel Comics. They pop by. Yes?
So Hawkeye.
Okay, so that's what I was wondering. Is the Circus of Crime from Daredevil?
They've been around. They were in the Hulk a couple of times.
Weren't they like the first episode of Daredevil? One of the first issues of Daredevil?
I don't know. The only time I've ever really explored them or seen them is literally in the Fraction Aja Hawkeye series and Clint's history with the Circus of Crime. He rolled with them for a long time. That's where he met the swordsman and stuff.
Is that where he was like, when he was a villain, when he was first introduced? Was it the Circus of Crime? That's what I thought too.
Either I don't know if it origin in the Circus of Crime or hooked up with the Circus of Crime, but his background as a villain is involved with the Circus of Crime.
Circus-y stuff.
Their first appearance was actually in Incredible Hulk #3, 1962.
There you go.
Yeah.
And there you go.
This was fun. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Amazing Spider-Man #16 is the issue I was thinking of, which features the yellow and brown clad Daredevil and the Circus of Crime with the Ringmaster.
Ringmaster.
When I finished this issue, I was like, "Oh, is this going to be like the Ringmaster?" So yeah, it's cool.
See, and I similarly looked it up on and found the Wikipedia page, and I expected to see Hawkeye among the members that were listed, and he was not. Which obviously Wikipedia is not the ironclad source of all things, but usually pretty good with this kind of thing, So yeah, I didn't know what was going on there.
I did not. I am not making up in my head canon Hawkeye's association with the Circus of Crime.
No, he definitely was.
It's just
a member
recent.
of that when he first encounters Captain America, right?
Yeah, I don't know. All I know is that it was two huge Marvel zombie nerds, one by the name of Matt Fraction and one by the name of David Aja, made it a component of their reimagining of Hawkeye. So it came from somewhere, right? Like it's just, I'm not exactly sure. I just know that at least in modern Marvel comics, it is intrinsically kind of involved in the Hawkeye mythology.
It could be that, or maybe originally he was a member of a circus with swordsmen, and then Fraction and
maybe they just
melded the two together. Yeah.
I wish that this issue started with page 10. Yeah, that's like my only mild gripe with it. It's adorable, it's enjoyable, but the whole first 10-page action scene and scene setting ended up being kind of just extended expository, because the actual story doesn't start till like page 10 when she's saying goodbye via note to her office. I don't know. It's just I was just like day walking through or sleepwalking through the first 10 pages, waiting
like
for a
Blade
hook.
And Vampire Hunter.
Day walking. And a hook literally never came until page 10 when she just is like, "I'm going back to New York." I like the little bits about how she doesn't really know how to define herself in New York because she was a different person that she doesn't want to be again. But that wasn't intrinsic to this, masked dudes side quest thing. It was fine, but it just felt useless. It felt like they were bending over backwards to reconcile whatever status quo miniseries Kate's been in the last couple of years, and I honestly don't care. Just tell me where she is now and go.
Kate Bishop had her own series where she went to California near Muscle Beach and started trying to become a private detective, a la Alias. What's her name?
Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones, yeah. And Jessica Jones was actually in that. And then she was also the leader of the West Coast Avengers. None of this is important. I understand, Noel. But yeah, but I also understand the need for continuity of for all the people who are invested in those relationships and her moving out there and trying to set this whole thing up and become her own person. I get wanting to sort of acknowledge it and then move on.
It could happen in page 10 when she's writing her goodbye note. That's what I get that. Just give me one scene where it just acknowledges what happened first and we're telling a new story, but doing it for 10 pages over a just fine action scene with faceless goons. I was like, it felt like a digital issue or a zero issue that was just tacked on for padding.
Right.
And then by the time we finally got into kind of the dynamics of what the rest of the series, I guess, is going to be, this resort that's a trap, that all felt incredibly rushed. So I was like, I wish you would have. It felt really rushed. I didn't know about her sister. I didn't know about her family history. I didn't know about those dynamics. I didn't know about the mystery. So that all felt rushed because they padded the front to me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wish this was structured a little bit differently.
It worked just fine for me. I actually really liked it. It didn't bother me the beginning and the end. I think the end felt rushed. I didn't think the beginning was unnecessary. I enjoyed it. I liked the text back and forth. I do like the artwork for the most part. It's interesting. It's got its own thing going on. I'm going to nitpick. It's such a stupid little thing. I've zoomed in here to a page. No.
Oh, no. Okay.
She has left these people for the police. And the way she has left this gentleman trussed up is to have the very tippy toe point of the arrow holding his jacket sleeve.
How's he going to get out of that? JD?
How's he gonna undo that tiny little piece of arrow that's in the wall?
I mean, you're not suggesting he could just take the jacket off?
That is it. What? No, What I'm suggesting is he could literally just pull his arm off of it because this much arrow is holding him to the wall.
I like the other hand is like clay paste, so he probably couldn't get very far anyway. But I actually want to nitpick. There are two things that many artists do not like to draw. One is cars. The other one is dogs/horses. And I am not a fan of some of these panels of Lucky the Pizza Dog.
Pizza Dog looks fine.
This one right here.
What's wrong
the
with
top right. The top right. Just zoom in.
I think he looks cute.
And then he's later on he's running and like his whole jaw is like dislocated from his face, and then there's a weird like right here on the left. I don't know why I just kept zeroing in on Lucky's depiction, and it's just like, oh, come on. Go down.
Oh, it takes so long for this to zoom in. There he is.
And he looks like Lucky by way of Jonah Hex.
Yeah. That's how jowls in movement look, Noel.
Okay.
All right. This is fun. It's I was really enjoying the Kelly Thompson Hawkeye stuff more. I'm gonna try and give this an issue or two to see if I stay on. I really like the Kelly Thompson, the West Coast Avengers and her Hawkeye run. I think were so much fun. So it's hard for me to say goodbye to that run. But this could pick up.
Did you read? You read the whole Kelly Thompson stuff?
I'm reading it now.
Oh,
yeah.
I haven't read any of it.
It's good. I love Kelly Thompson.
I sampled the West Coast Avengers book and I didn't like it. But
I would read. Philly.
I would give the I just think I wasn't in the mood for it. Meanwhile, like been reading Runaways and it's my favorite thing right now. So like I'm not against silly. I just I don't like broad that much.
Dan H is in the comments saying this has Mockingbird vibes.
A little bit.
The Chelsea Kane storyline, I think. All right. Is that all the issues?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Although we had talking about Hawkeye the show.
That's what's coming up next.
Excellent.
Oh, you got to go.
I have a hard stop in about 6 or 7 minutes. You want to start talking about it?
You're right.
Did you like it, Noel? The show?
Yeah. It was. It is a. Here, first of all, let's do this correctly.
Oh,
let's move that.
Mars says,
"Wow,
that sounds great. I have not read this book. Just may have to find those back issues." No, that was old.
I think that was about Radiant Black.
That was Radiant Black. We already read that one.
Welcome to Gutter Talk.
6 minutes.
Hawkeye episode 1 and 2. I liked it a lot. It was adorable.
Me too.
It is so incredibly cliched and tropey. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm in. Stakes are relatively low. It's all character focused and it's comedic. Great. I love the way that Jeremy Renner's Hawkeye is so nonplussed with everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
He's been there.
Done that. And to match him with the energy of Kate, where she's very charming, but also very aggressively pushy. And he like the scene where the scene where he's just walking her to work and she's like hitting him with stuff. And she's like, well, what do you think about this? Like, I don't think about that. What do you want to do here? I don't want to do that. Like, it's not a problem for me because it's not a problem. I don't care. And I just loved that energy.
It's not quite as pathetic as Tom Holland's Peter Parker constantly leaving messages for Tony.
But that was perfect, though. Yeah. I think that was perfect for that version of Spider-Man. Whereas
absolutely. But I'm saying
it's not as told it.
Yeah.
It's much more confident because she is. There was a couple of articles and complaints I've seen where she's a Mary Sue, blah, blah, blah. But you know what? Hang on. Hold on. In the purest sense of the form, yeah. For the story, she literally is a Mary Sue. They spend the whole first 15 minutes of the first episode explaining as to why she has acquired all of these skills, needs to know all of these things. It is inherently her sense of control and needs a sense of control and protective nature for her to become a Mary Sue of sorts. Like that is literally her character, and that's totally
always
fine because it
understood
works within the show.
I've always understood the term Mary Sue to be when the author inserts themselves
Yes.
as a character, basically.
Yeah,
Well, no, that's
Sad
not
Boys
true.
have co-opted it now, and they use
Oh.
Mary Sue for just any old time they see a woman character and they don't like that she's good at shit. They
I was
just
gonna say,
throw
like,
that term around.
Hold on. I'm not getting angry about this. I don't agree with it. In regards to her being a capable character and acts as a deus ex machina within the scenes and situations that they put her, it makes perfect sense that she's capable and has solutions. It is her
that
character.
makes her
Literally,
not a Mary Sue.
But they're complaining in the sense that they are mislabeling Mary Sue as somebody who just knows how to do stuff for the plot to move. Yeah,
well,
she is, and
but
that's
also,
the entire point of the character.
But also, she is someone who has been training since she was
what did
8
I just
years
say?
old.
What did I just say? Yeah, I'm agreeing with their misuse of the term because it's accurate and it's a plus, not a con. It's a pro, not a con. It's the feature,
Mars
not the
Comics
bug.
is saying, "What is a Mary Sue? Not sure, really."
You want the fake one or the real one?
Let's start with real.
The real one.
The real one is when Robert Heinlein did this a lot. When I think it actually comes from Star Trek fan fiction was the name of a character, Mary Sue, and it's when the author kind of being especially in fan fiction, being a fan of that thing, inserts themselves into a story and a character who's very, very similar to who they are in real life, but is good at everything and solves whatever problem it is, and all of the other people that in the show that they love turn to their character that is them and say, "You're great. That is something I never could have done. That was amazing." And
it's flagellation. It's self-congratulatory validation that they insert into the story. Yeah.
And different writers who are not writing fan fiction have done it to different degrees. Sometimes they use it, I think, as a mouthpiece to say what they want to say, their opinion in a story, and sometimes they do it because they want to.
You mean an agenda
in the story? Yeah.
But
fake one.
People who I call sad boys on the internet have sort of taken that phrase and they just keep misusing it. Like they call Rey a Mary Sue, even though she fails a lot in Star Wars in the sequels. And so anytime basically they see a female character that has abilities or powers or capabilities that they don't think they should have, they're just like, it's a Mary Sue.
Yeah, I believe those people think that these things are unearned, right? Like that's their supposed gripe with it is that, well, this character just showed up and she's automatically good without having to work for it. Never mind that like characters start out that way all the time. We just
I was going to say,
they're
like,
already good at something.
Their definition of Mary Sue, the most perfect example of it is Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
He's a fucking farm boy that gets like 3 lessons in the Force and like takes out the entire Death Star. Literally 3 lessons. That movie takes place over the course of like 48 hours.
Yeah.
And he's able
he finds out what the Force is.
He's
all in the same but like same logic applied to Rey and the Force Awakens. Like, how does she hold her own? Like the fucking Earth split and they couldn't fight. Relax.
Yeah. Like, also, Kylo Ren was shot with a goddamn bowcaster, which throws people across the room.
We saw her earlier in the movie did like destroy like 14 people with a bow staff. Like she's not incapable.
Yeah.
I don't know.
She's been surviving on a desert planet by herself for like over a decade.
Although,
so anyway, Mars, that's what a Mary Sue is.
Although Mars Comics asks if it's a know-it-all, and I think not really in the original sense, right? Like, yes, but they, in context of the story, are justified, and that like they actually do know what they are talking about in this thing that is written by the person that they are in the real world.
But it's usually unearned, right? So like they think that a female character is able to do things that, and there's no reason why she can do it. Where to go back to the show, it's established immediately that she sees Hawkeye in action and wants to be him or wants to be able to protect her family. Yeah. She just starts training as a very young girl. And that's why she has all these abilities.
Yeah, from 8 to 8, or what is it, like 10 to 22? I think that's like a old 12, because it's 2012 to 2024.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the whole opening sequence is literally her acquiring every single like black belt level and archery trophy, and like she just goes hard. And I love the idea of this character being so incredibly capable when it comes to physicality and or talent, but so incredibly green when it comes to just interpersonal skills, taking hints, understanding how, like, that is ripe for my enjoyment. And I just really enjoyed it. My wife, who is used to, every Wednesday we watch these shows as like just a thing in our house, and she's used to Loki and WandaVision and like things feeling like events. So the smaller nature, the slightness of the first 2 episodes of this, she was like, "Oh, yeah, it was good," but there was no like ramp up excitement. So I was like, just hold with it. It's supposed to be smaller. So like I know that not everybody is enjoying it as much as me.
I think I was going into it with that perspective, right? I was like, all right, it's only Hawkeye. It's not going to be anything, so mind blowing. And, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I didn't think I wasn't going to enjoy it, but I didn't think I was going to care about it that much. But I did. It was cool. Of the non-powered Avengers shows that we've gotten so far, I think it's the best. This and Falcon and Winter Soldier, I guess, is the only other one. Right?
I love it.
Yeah,
I'm having a bucket of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
She's perfect.
Yeah, she's great. I like that she is seemingly the more main character.
She's the main antagonist. Yeah, I like that they dropped both episodes or 2 episodes at once, because it really was one episode to fully establish Kate, and then they
if it ended after the first episode for this one, I still would have watched the next one, but I wouldn't have been anywhere near as interested in it. Once the story gets going, it's much better. And I'll tell you, her stepfather, I was like, who is that guy?
As soon as he walked on stage, I knew exactly who that was.
I wasn't sure. I had forgot. I don't know that character that well.
Me neither. I just knew him from Empire, honestly.
Oh yeah, you're right. And I didn't remember his name, but I'm like, that guy's got to be some guy.
Yeah, look at that mustache. He's somebody.
Yeah,
sword guy. That's sword man.
Nobody's that interested in swords without having some sort of
being sword man.
Super identity.
Without being sword guy.
Yeah.
Stab man.
Classic way of finding out by Kate Bishop. That was very cool. I always like that kind of thing, where she's like attacking him for real and he takes her out with no problem.
I'm very intrigued by like whatever mafia style machinations are happening on the background. So like I'm super intrigued by the murder mystery part of it, because these are names that I don't necessarily know in the Marvel universe. So it's, what is this going to be connected to? The mother is in a very interesting situation where she's the head of a globally recognized security, but has dealings that seem not on the up and up, and
shady.
Started the whole series with having arguments about stability with the father. So there's ripe for all kinds of like weird things, and who's going to be the actual bad guy. I think it's really dope. And also too, Echo, motherfuckers. That was Echo.
I wasn't going to spoil it, but yeah, as soon as we saw her.
Did Echo always start off as a villain?
Yes. She is a henchman. She started out as a henchman of Kingpin, who raised her after killing her father.
Oh.
Yeah. But as soon as I saw her listening to the stereo that way, I was like, oh, that's Echo.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, spoiler or not, they did announce that there will be an Echo Disney Plus show.
Yeah.
So.
Now, I think the clue that she finds when Duquesne pulls out the butterscotch and eats it, and she's like, oh, I gotta get out of here. It's like, well, I mean, that is his presumably beloved uncle. He might have.
That's what I thought was weird, right?
Wait,
like she was like, "Oh my god, what?" I'm like, you know they're related, right?
Right.
I took it as a flex. I think he knows that she was there and was just like, butterscotch.
Oh,
Like,
you think he did that on purpose?
No, I genuinely took it as a flex of his. Like, I'm under your
Oh.
skin.
Oh, that's interesting.
Have fun.
Oh, I didn't get that.
Yeah.
That's how I
I
took
see.
it. Not
No,
not
it makes
her
sense,
like having an aha.
Because she was
more of him
very
being
strong
like,
in her reaction to it.
You know, it's entirely possible that like that place had cameras. Because she stops there and picks it up and goes, monogrammed butterscotch. So you could have seen that on the video camera or whatever and been, yeah, this is her him flexing on her. That's a good point.
Yeah.
I thought that was weird. I'm like,
right. Like he
why are
knows,
you
like he probably
weirded
goes
out?
over there
well,
semi-regularly.
he was playing with her the whole time and lying to her. And then it was just like, you think you're onto me. Butterscotch?
Now, I wonder also if, because Armand was telling Duquesne, like, oh, this fiance of yours is maybe up to no good. But I wonder if she is, like, if his version of bad news is not that bad of news. You know what I mean?
Huh?
You know what I mean?
Huh?
That's right.
What, Brian?
Huh? I stopped listening.
I'm sorry. I got buzzed.
Anyone in the comments have a response to that?
I was listening to you. What if? I got it. I'm very excited for the show. I think it is appropriately tropey in regards to action movies and buddy cop movies and the holidays. It's perfect.
Oh, I love that it's set in the Christmas.
Yeah.
It's explicitly an action movie trope to have like Christmas themed or holiday themed action buddy cop comedy machinations. I think it's great.
Yeah.
And I really before we go, my favorite part of the whole fucking thing is Clint's relationship with his wife.
Yeah,
right?
Cool.
He tells her everything. Literally everything.
And she
is
like
a part
has
of
an
every
opinion
move.
about it, and they talk.
And she even knows that like one of the moves that he's gonna pull is a Nat move.
Yeah.
Is a Black Widow move. And every time there's like two scenes, I think, where they sort of like reflect on the fact that Nat existed and was very important. And I was just like, oh,
Nat. A lesser show would try and create inorganic or just fabricated or jammed in conflict by having that just tropey, like, well, you said you were going to be home, like making her a nag or making him a liar. And they just have this well-worn in understanding of each other. And
right, like this is how it's got to be. I have to go take care of this thing.
Absolutely loved it.
It's like MJ and Pete. Yeah.
Also, the LARPing was fun.
That was so
definitely
dumb.
Never gonna see that guy again later.
Girls? I mean, I think he's going to be pivotal to Phase 4, but we'll see.
We'll see. All right, we got to get out of here. Noah was supposed to have a hard stop at 10:30. It's 10:53. We love you. Thank you for hanging out with us. Email us at cultpopgo@gmail.com. Let us know what you're thinking of Hawkeye, the TV show. And that's it. We love you. Thank you so much.